You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale. Hey everyone, welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
And we're coming to you Monday, the day after the Leafs lose 2-0 to the Florida Panthers. Drop both games down in the Sunshine State, which means the series tied 2-2. It's a best of three, and the Leafs have home ice advantage. That's where we're standing right now, brother.
Yes, we are. Episode 280 right here, coming off a 2-0 loss in Game 4. Series tied at 2, like you just said. Game 5, pivotal. We'll get more into Game 5 here as we get cooking. Pivotal Game 5, Wednesday night, back in Toronto. Chad, what's the temperature at right now? What's the temperature at right now for you?
Like, you mean how I feel about going into Game 5, or
in general? Just everything in general. Are we hot? Are we not? Nope, don't worry about it. Or are we where are we at temperature wise right now? I'm a little hot.
Yeah, I would say I'm warm. I'm more towards hot than I am cold, but I'm not scalding hot.
Okay, well, we'll reevaluate where the temperature's at about 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday evening, because I might be boiling at that point, but we'll see. I'm a little hot right now. Dude, look. Outworked. A lot of things to get to here. Outworked. They looked so disinterested to me, the top guys specifically. Maybe with the exception of 88, who was flying. I'm talking about two guys, okay? I'm really, and you can throw 91 in there too, but I'm really talking about two guys where it's just adding up and adding up in these games where we need them to be the fucking guys, and they just can't seem to find it. Not even a sniff. I want to save the Mitch and Austin talk until later. Some other things I want to go to first. Right out of the gates, I'm going to go fucking fire. This series, to me, represents who will represent the East in the Stanley Cup final. I'm going to say that that's where my head's at. Do you think the Leafs or whoever comes out of this series, I believe, will beat the Capitals or the Hurricanes and will represent the Eastern Conference in the Stanley Cup final? Too far on that, or are you on the same page?
I would say that they would be the favorite, but I'm not going to say that Carolina or Washington couldn't beat Toronto or Florida.
I will.
Okay, and that's fine. That's your take on it. I just think that anything can happen, but they would be the favorite. Whoever wins the series, I think, would be the favorite.
100%. So with that being said, like, look, we can go back to Friday night and a game they should have won. Joseph Wall maybe makes another save or two, and they end up getting a bounce in overtime. You know, we're looking at 3-1 heading back to Toronto for Wednesday, and now here we are 2-2. So, look, man, Joseph Wall, I guess, off the top, we were talking after the last podcast that he needed a massive Game 4. I thought he showed up fucking bells on, baby, ready to fucking rock and roll. I don't see how anyone could see it any other way. I don't think you're going to see it any other way. Without Joseph Wall, this isn't a 2-0 hockey game, brother. This is 4 or 5-0 Tampa.
Yeah. If Joseph Wall had played like he did on Friday, it would have been lights out in the first period. But they managed to get no shots on goal, get outplayed, give up 4 power plays in the first period alone, and they managed to get to the third period only down 1-0.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's because of one guy. Like, you can credit the defense. You can credit the defense who, like, the penalty kills, and sure, I will give credit to the defense. But it's really, to me, I saw it as it was really just one dude. Saving their bacon, keeping their ass in it all night long, giving them a fucking chance to put one in the net. But could they fucking find a way to do that? Of course not. Outclassed, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's not good enough in these games. It's not fucking good enough. So I don't know. Where do you think we're at? I haven't heard anything on Stolarz today. Like, it's going to be Wall on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it'll be Wall on Wednesday.
Do you think it's going
Stolarz
to
be? He hasn't even skated.
So we're probably looking at like we're going to live or we're going to ride or die here with Joseph Wall for the remainder of round 2. Yeah.
And I don't think that's the problem.
No, it looks like he's just getting stronger. That's a positive. Mm-hmm. Some negatives to come, but that's a big positive because they're gonna need that, right? Like you can't.
Yeah, it's weird how people interpret it. Wall has a game like that, and everyone's like, "Oh, you blew it," because he won't have a game like that ever again. Bobrovsky gets the shutout with not a very hard-working shutout, but he got a shutout, and everyone's like, "He's back." Like Bobrovsky's back. I'm like, well, Wall had a good game too. Why isn't Wall back? Why can't you kind of be afraid the Wall's found his game? It never goes that way.
I didn't see Bobrovsky like he made the saves he needed to make, sure, but was there
16 shots?
And how many of those, Chad, were like high quality danger chances? Half, not even, maybe 5.
No, not half. Definitely not. Yeah, maybe 5. He had a couple breakaways. Like Nylander had a bit of a breakaway, but he got caught by the defense. And Knies had that breakaway that I thought that was the one to tie the game, and he missed the net.
Yeah, well, fucking dude, how many times did several guys? We're gonna get into Austin and Mitch here, but how many times did several guys last night miss the fucking net completely? Just miss the net. Like you can't hit you play in the fucking NHL. Put it on. I understand you're gonna miss. I get it. Like you're ripping it 100 miles an hour. You're not gonna put it on net every time. But like, come on, guys. Like they're shooting high a lot of these times because they're trying to pick corners on Bobrovsky because he's not the best up high. But at least just get it on net. Maybe you get a rebound or maybe you get a dirty bounce, whatever. You can't be air mailing it fucking over the crossbar like by 2 feet or 3 feet and like several times a night, especially
in a game like that.
Oh my goodness.
You got to give Florida credit. We can talk about how the Leafs didn't have it, but Florida played a hell of a game. Yeah. Like they played a perfect game. Yeah. Defensively, they were perfect. They were on every puck. They were hitting everything. Like that's a coach's dream, the way Florida played last night.
Yep.
And the Leafs, you're right. Just hit in a game like that, hit the net, get something off a knee, just get some sort of life. But instead, they were ripping it high.
Refs played a good game too, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about
those were all blatant penalties in the first period. Like they were lazy penalties. I know later in the game there were a lot of missed calls and a lot of shitty. Yeah, like the refs didn't do a great job. But in the first period, those 4 penalties, it's like, come on, guys. Those are just stupid fucking things to do.
Yeah. Well, they were 8 minutes of the first period. You're killing penalties for 8 minutes. So like that's going to
6 and change.
That's okay. Fair. Yeah. But like that's going to wear on your defenders, and like Florida's building momentum. But this was just a tough one, man, especially after how game 3 played out. Like this was a serious tough one. Like we're in a dogfight here. Everyone fucking knew that was going to be the case. Like feeling good after being up after 2 games, being up 2-0. But I'm not surprised. That game 3, man, it's just such a fucking killer because whatever happens the rest of the way here, we're always going to look back at game 3 and be like,
you had a 3-1 lead.
You know, like, I mean, the Leafs were all over it in fucking game 3. They should have found a way to win that hockey game. They didn't, whatever. Best 2 out of 3 right now. Like Meatloaf says, Chad, 2 out of 3. That ain't bad.
Oh, that ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'll take it.
And you get 2 of the games on home ice.
Right.
And that
maybe.
Well, yeah, maybe. But I mean, 2 out of 3, 2 of them are on Leafs home ice. You're going back for game 5. You get the last change, which is going to be huge because Paul Maurice's matchups in game 3 were they killed the Leafs. They killed them.
Yep. Do you expect any lineup changes, like players in and out, or line combinations? Expect anything different, or Berube, the old school cat that he is, he's just gonna roll this baby till the end?
I'm expecting it, but I'm also thinking I think Berube might not do it to not panic.
Like, what would be the move though, Chad? What would be the move?
Well, you might want to split up Matthews and Marner just because you can't have two guys on a line that won't do anything to get the puck. Like Nylander, yeah, Nylander floats and Nylander's not that great at going to the corner, but he has Pacioretty and JT, two of the heaviest players in the corners along the boards.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Matthew Knies on that top line, who the hell's going to get the fucking puck?
Switch Pacioretty and Marner. I would do that.
You got to do something. I would split them up. I might take Bobby McMahon out of the lineup. Like, I'm just tired of this.
I know, but he was more engaged in game 4, but still.
But he's not doing anything.
No, I know. But what are you replacing him with? You can't really put Robertson in.
Maybe on home ice. Maybe on home ice, just for game 5, you put the Domi, McMahon, Robertson line back together. That third line, but you shelter them so that they don't go up against anybody, and you try to get some depth scoring that way.
So who comes out then?
Yarncroc?
Yeah, Yarncroc.
What did he play? 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes?
Who's sliding down to the fourth line then?
Holmberg?
Yeah, Holmberg,
Lawton, and Lorenz?
Yeah, I could see that. Not sure about I could see it. I'd be okay with it. I'm not. Yeah, like Robertson, he could maybe bang one in, but the way
that line did have some juice, for a little bit, but I just don't. They're a terrible defensive line, like Domi and Robertson together, not good. No. But if you could shelter it and just because you get last change, they only take offensive zone draws, they only play in that side of the ice. Maybe it'd be so. I mean, he's got to think of something, but at the same time, you don't want to look panicked because you lost.
No,
you don't want to make a bunch of changes and have Florida be like, "Oh, these guys are shitting their pants. They're afraid."
No, and I wouldn't even look at that as a panic move. I would just look at that as like, we need some fucking offense here.
Yeah,
again, like drastically.
But we're gonna get into it. But when it comes down to it, the offense has got to come from the top two guys.
Of course,
you've got enough depth scoring and defense scoring in this playoffs.
I've got 2 things, and then we'll probably basically spend the rest of the podcast talking about Mitch and Austin, and then looking ahead to game 5. The power play. Oh my goodness. So bad in game 4. So I don't know what these guys were doing. You look how quickly they were ripping it around.
Florida's just all over them. Okay, all over them.
Going back to the Ottawa series, like just how quickly they were ripping it around. But
Ottawa didn't play like Florida's playing.
No,
like Ottawa would give you time and space. They were playing like a box. Florida is just, you have the puck, 2 guys running at you. And with Mitch on defense, they're like nervous. They're nervous to cough up the puck.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I just thought the power play was so bad last night, and like the worst I've seen it in the playoffs, the worst I've seen it in quite some time. The Panthers had way more quality chances shorthanded than the Leafs ever had on any of their power plays last night. The Panthers could have had 2 or 3 shorties for fun, fucking fun last night. Wall was making 10 bellers when the Leafs were on the fucking power play, dude. Like
Florida's they're playing so aggressive. They're all over Toronto on the power play, and it's working. You need to switch that up. Like if you want to stay with 5 forwards,
how do you switch?
Well,
it can't be 44.
No, I wouldn't put 44, but I think Ekman Larson is probably the best at getting wristers through to the net.
Who comes off then? Can't be 23.
No, 23 would stay there. Honestly,
34.
Well,
that's a ballsy move there. He should be the one.
What if, to get Matthews going, you take him out of the slot, you take him out of the sideboards, and you put him in the bumper? You put him in the second bumper, Knies in the first bumper, and maybe you take JT off and put JT on the other one. Okay. You put OEL, Marner to on the side, Marner and Nylander on the sides for shooting and passing, OEL to get the shot through, Matthews and Knies in the bumper positions to try and score.
I don't hate that, but
though like JT's probably better right now than Matthews.
I was just going to say, who has been better on the power play, 34 or 91? For
91.
me, it's 91. So to me, it's not really fair to if they want to go with Ekman Larson on the blue line, which I don't have a problem with, the guy that's It's not about hurt feelings time here, folks. It's about winning fucking 2 more hockey games. It's about winning 2 more hockey games. So sorry, Austin, he won't do that. Like,
no, you'll never take Austin out, but it's not working. Whatever he's doing in his spot is not working. He's not getting his shots through. He's missing the net. And if he does get it through, it's right at the goalie.
Understatement is that it's not working. Holy hell.
So that would be my thinking. I would try to get Austin going with a greasy goal and put him in front of the net, but it isn't really fair because JT is just better at that.
He's
got 4 goals, 3 goals from that position already.
Of course. And Austin, well, we'll get more into that here. It's coming. The main event is right around the corner. But look, best player in this series for the Toronto Maple Leafs so far. Maybe best forward for the Leafs.
It's probably Nylander.
Okay.
And Matthew Knies.
Yeah. Okay. So is it not kind of a little insane? Like that, I guess this will lead us into the Austin Mitch conversation, that like Matthew Knies not only drives that line, but I think has been the best player in the playoffs on that line.
He's the biggest threat on that line.
Without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. He's driving that fucking line by himself.
Yep.
How crazy is that? Think about that, really. Think about how like sad that is, really. When you've got 2 superstars, one of them's the highest paid player in the league, the other one wants to be, and we've got a guy making fucking entry level driving the fucking line. That's like, to me, that's just like the fight in the dog. Is that the right thing? Like is that the right thing to say, how you would word it, terminology? Like Matthew Knies has so much fight in the dog, so much more on a higher level than the other 2, than I've ever seen out of the other 2 fucking guys when it counts. I don't know. Am I off base here or what?
No, he's driven that line. He's honestly, like, I feel when the puck goes in, if they do a dump and chase and the puck goes into the corner, Marner's not really going to go after it. Matthews will, but I want Matthew Knies to be the guy. I feel like Matthew Knies will get something going. Like in the regular season, you want the puck to go to Marner because Marner can create things out of nothing. That's not there right now.
No.
And same with Matthews. Sometimes Matthews can get the puck. It could be in the back of the net before you blink. That's not happening. It's all Knies. I want the puck on Knies' stick. That's why when he got the breakaway, I was like, this is the guy I want to have the breakaway.
100%.
And
like it's so hard to create something. Like you're talking about Mitch, trying to create something out of nothing. Like it dries up at this time of year. You can't create something out of nothing. You have to just be fucking heads up and make hard fucking plays.
You have to take a hit.
Take a hit to make a play. Do something different. It's not just like drop pass, try to beat the guy at the line. No, like that's never going to work against the Florida Panthers. Not as the series goes deeper and as you potentially go deeper in the playoffs. That's not how you fucking win. You can't. There's no space. There's no time. There's no space. So trying to be creative and whatever, like it's not there, man. It's the dirt. Like look at the Bennett fucking goal last night. Like that was just. It turned into a 2-on-1. He drives the net. Boom. It's in the fucking net. Like that's what Mitch and Austin, was it him and Verhaeghe, or I forget who the other guy was, but whatever. But like, a Mitch Austin play where they just like push to the fucking net. I'm not even seeing them create a fucking 2-on-1, but if they were to do that, like, don't be cute. Don't be fucking fancy. None of this shit. Just drive to the fucking net and fucking put it in.
They won't. They won't do it. Like it drives me mad. Everyone's talking about Matthews doing all these things right, and it's like, yeah, look at the things. But they keep saying that they're like, he's winning face-offs, he's blocking shots, positionally, he's great. You know what he's not doing? He's not doing the things we need him to do. He's not driving the net. He's not taking hits. Like, great. Yeah, you're great in your own end. You're blocking shots and you're positioning and you're getting the puck out and you're not getting scored on that often. That's great. But we need you to. I'm watching the Edmonton series.
Yep.
And like 5, 6, 7 times a game, more than that. Draisaitl and McDavid are like on it,
They are, dude.
taking it to the net, making something happen. And
Those
then I'm
two,
watching the Leafs and Matthews and Marner, they don't do it. They don't even try to do it.
the two big dogs in Edmonton, they're on a different fucking planet than 34 and 16. They're not even on the same fucking planet, man.
They don't even think. Like, they just do it.
They just go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
They
you
just
could
fucking
see
go.
Matthews and Marner are thinking. They're hesitating. Marner, like, if he looks at the fucking ref one more time after taking a hit, after making a play, I'm sorry, Mitch, in the playoffs, you're going to get hit. I know you got elbowed in the head, and that should have been a penalty.
Yes.
That's going to happen in the playoffs. Like, you have to just let it wash over you and go.
Or how about this? Instead of looking at the ref for a call, go back and give the guy a fucking shot right back in the fucking, well.
No, I agree with you, but it'll never happen.
Why? Because they're too fucking soft. They can't stand up for themselves. They want the calls, but they don't want to get dirty themselves. Like it's
not even about that. It's like the difference between playoffs and regular season. You just have to learn how to do that. And they're thinking too much out on the ice. Like I said, McDavid and Draisaitl, they just do it. It's second nature. But these guys, watch the games. When the puck goes in a greasy area, they literally hesitate.
Oh, they don't want to be there.
They hesitate and they're like, what should I do? Marner he'll go in or he'll sit back and hope the puck pops out. And then look at Matthew Knies. Just a fucking wrecking ball. Yep. Like, here I come.
You are 100%. 100% on the money.
So they can talk all they want about how great Matthews is playing defensively, like his face-offs and block shot. Go ahead, talk about all that all you want. That's not going to beat the Florida Panthers.
Not a fucking chance.
This guy's got to drive it. He's got to score a fucking goal. I don't care if he's hurt. I don't care what's going on. We need 34 to put the goddamn puck in the net.
Okay.
Like, do it, man. He's got no goals against Florida in 2 playoff series.
Dude, I totally agree with everything you just said there. So here we go. We'll get to more into Mitch and Austin right now. We'll go out on this, guys. There's been a ton of secondary scoring for the Leafs in this playoffs, to my absolute surprise. I didn't see it happening that way. I really didn't. But Pacioretty's been great. Contributions from the back end. Domi's popped a few in. There's been some really great secondary scoring there. When the going gets tough, we were kind of just talking about this. When the going gets tough and it's time for the top guys to step up, you were kind of just talking about this. And here we are, Mitch and Austin Matthews. Mitch Marner, 0 shots. 0 in games 3 and 4. Crazy. Not a single fucking shot on net. Austin Matthews.
And let's reiterate, he's the guy on the point in the power play.
Yeah.
And he's got no shots.
No shots on net in games 3 or 4.
That's your job on that.
0 for Mitch. And he wants to become the highest paid winger, if not the highest paid player in the league. Yeah, hard pass on that. Thanks, 16. I don't fucking think so. Unless I see something Wednesday and Friday, ain't gonna fucking happen, folks.
Or look at the guy they asked you to waive your no trade clause for in Rantanen. Guy's got 17 points, I think.
He's on his way to a Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
That's where he is.
So if you said if I was the GM and your agent sat down with me, I was like, let's look at this. Did he do this in the playoffs? No? Okay, well, then he's not going to get what he wants.
And look what he signed for. 12.5, I think. Or was it just 12 straight up? 12, 12.5, whatever. The guy I would say
fucking machine.
I would say Rantanen is leading out of the 8 remaining teams. I think he right now would be the favorite for the Conn Smythe. You think that's fair?
Yeah, he is
killing it.
He's unbelievable.
Killing it. So on top of Mitch Marner's 0 shots in game 3 and 4, Austin Matthews now with 3 goals in his last 20 playoff games. 3.
Wow.
3 goals. Did you see that stat today?
So basically we have a $13.5 million David Kampf on the ice. Like great at taking faceoffs and great defensively, but will never score. Is that what we have?
Highest paid player in the league. Not a single player right now currently makes more than Austin Matthews. He's got 3 goals in his last 20 playoff games. When it matters the most, when the going gets tough, what? Invisible. Okay, look, and none in this series, obviously. 3 goals in his last. He had 2 against Ottawa. Great. Whoop-de-doo. So think of it. I just can't even really still wrap my head around that. 3 goals in his last 20 playoff games. He's the highest paid player in the league. 3 goals in his last 20 playoff games. That's fucking.
And he's still, I mean, there's still time in this series to turn it around, but it's been such a long drought, man.
I'm just sorry. As the highest paid player in the league, that is completely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I don't give a shit if he's hurt or not. Guys played through Draisaitl and Tkachuk last year in the Stanley Cup final. Like, guys played through shit and they find a fucking way. They just find a fucking way. These fucking 2 guys, like, I don't care if Matthews is fucking hurt or not. He's in the fucking lineup. Contribute offensively. That's what you're literally fucking, that's your job. That's what he is paid to do for a fucking living. Like,
it baffles me that, like, it's like you say, find a way. You know exactly what you're getting into when you step on the ice against the Florida Panthers. You know that you're going to get fucking bulldozed into the boards.
How could
you know
not?
that they're going to play a little dirty? You know,
right?
You're going to get, you know, there's going to be dirty plays. There's going to be bad shit going on. You know, they're going to be chirping you. They're going to be getting under your skin all over you. And like you say, find a way. You know what's coming.
This guy,
and still they don't do it.
Like Bobrovsky made 1 glove save on him last night. That might have
been waited fucking 7 business days to take the goddamn shot.
I know. How many times we were talking earlier about, like, guys not being able to hit the net. How many fucking he used to be the wrist shot fucking king. When's the last time you saw him take a wrist shot? Little toe drag wrist shot. He's trying to slap shot everything. It's missing the net by 3 fucking feet every time he shoots the puck. Like, it's baffling. Like, when is the last time you saw a toe drag wrist shot top shelf? He used to do that on a fucking every 2 nights.
And that's why I think he's got to be hurt.
Okay,
you got to find a different way. If you can't do that and you can't hit the net with a slap shot, then fucking drive the net and get a greasy one. Like, barrel it in. Stand in front of the net and just let it go off your ass. I don't care.
I just think right now, like, we'll see how the next game goes, and that's obviously going to be a pivotal game. More on game 5 here to wrap it up. But these 2 guys, Mitch and Austin, I'm sorry, they are probably 2 of the most underwhelming superstars I've ever seen in the playoffs. I cannot really recall, like, 2 guys who think they are the absolute shit. Like, these guys think they are the shit in the National Hockey League. I've never been more underwhelmed in my life. Year after year after year, when it matters most, it's like, what do they do? What do they do to help you fucking win? They won't grind one out. Like, I don't know. Like, is it not just so underwhelming watching these guys play in big games?
Yeah.
Like,
every other team, watch every other playoff series that's going on right now. Every other team, their stars are contributing in some way, whether their time and space is being taken away and they've changed their game to, like, you know, become a power forward when they're not a power forward, whatever it is. And then you got Edmonton with 2 guys on another planet. But you're right. That's totally fair to say.
Do you think
their whole time in Toronto, their playoff careers have been very underwhelming for what they're paid and what they're expected of?
Oh, dude, do you think it is a case of just, like, those 2 guys? I know we're going on these 2 guys hard, but I think it's warranted.
But you know what? Last night, man, your depth scoring, your defense, they have been there for you all playoffs. Last night, your goalie stood on his fucking head and held it 1-0. We needed a goal. We needed 1 or 2 goals to win.
And the 2 top guys were fucking completely invisible. Completely fucking invisible.
They were probably, I hate to say it, they were probably 2 of the worst forwards on the team last night.
Oh, 100%. Which is,
like, Nylander was buzzing. JT had a pretty good game. Matthew Knies was buzzing again. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. That was their game. That's your game to be like, that's where Matthews got to be like, I'm going to score 2 in the third. Just like Rantanen in game 7 against Colorado. He's like, fuck it. Scores a hat trick, wins the game. Matthews and Marner needed to do that last night.
You're right. Find a way, 100%, these 2 guys, but they've never been able to. I'm not convinced that they're
just
going
to elevate your fucking game.
Do you think, Chad, that it is a matter of just like they're so soft, they don't want to do the necessary things that it takes? Or do you think there's something more there where it's like it's hard to pinpoint, is it not? Like, why can't they be more engaged? Why can't they see what it, like you mentioned, just I'll give it back to you here in a second. You mentioned how like how do they not know by now what it takes to win in the playoffs? All you have to do, and you were just talking about this, all you have to do right now is look across the ice at the team that you're fucking playing. That should tell you everything you need to know about what it takes to fucking win in the spring, to go on a fucking run, to win a Stanley Cup. Look across the ice at the team you're playing right now. That should tell you everything you need to know about what it takes individually to fucking be serious about winning. You mentioned on that. So, like, how do you wrap this all up in like a, what the fuck are these two guys about and what the fuck are they doing? I'm sorry.
No, it's absolutely right. You've played, not even look across and look at what Florida's done. You've played them 4 games now. Like I said, you know what to expect. And you have to elevate your game. I don't know what it is that they can't do it. I think with Mitch, I honestly believe Mitch doesn't like getting hit. He doesn't like the rough stuff at all.
I don't think 34, like neither one of them do.
But 34 at least throws his body around. He does throw his body around. He does go in. It's just not his. That's his. It's not his strong game. Like Knies, Tavares, those guys know how to do it. They know how to play that way. He doesn't know. He falls down on the ice a lot when he's trying to dig the puck out. And
you're right. But Mitch just wants to make a play.
Mitch wants time and space, and there is no time and space. No,
but
it's like the easiest game plan ever. You take away his time and space, and you hit him, and he just looks lost
completely.
And he gets so frustrated. You could see it on his face. Every time he takes a hit, he leaves. He goes to the bench, and he's just frustrated. You gotta elevate your game. You gotta play through it. You've played him 4 times. If you went out and did anything 4 times in a row, anything, any sport, anything in life, you know what to expect tomorrow, the next time you do it. Mitch knows what's going to happen.
Of course.
But what is he going to do different? What's Austin going to do different? Are they going to go out on Wednesday and do the same thing again and just hope that Matthew Knies buries one or Nylander has a hat trick?
I think it's
take the fucking spotlight off of them.
I think it's very likely. Do you not?
That's you can't. You can't, like, you have to.
They can.
But don't you think they want to be? Doesn't Matthews want to be the guy? Like, isn't he at home right now being like, fuck this? You know what? Wednesday night, I'm going to be the best fucking player on that ice.
You would hope, you would think, but can you honestly sit here and say that he gives a fuck one way or the other? Because he doesn't.
I think he does, but I don't think he knows how.
I don't know. Yeah. Yes. That's accurate. That's accurate.
Like, I think he wants to be the best player on the ice, but he actually, yeah, you're right. He knows how. He just either can't or won't. So he knows what he has to do.
Berube needs to pull these 2 cats in one-on-one or both together and have a serious talk that Sheldon Keefe would have never had with these guys. And like a for real talk, like here's where it's at. So let's go to game 5 here. Berube needs a one-on-one meeting with these guys or both of them together and just put it out there. Not good enough, guys. You cannot play the way you're playing and do the things you're doing and have us beat the Florida Panthers. It's not going to happen. So you two need to have a good night tonight. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Play Fortnite, whatever the fuck you do on your nights off. Whatever you do. Out chasing the muff around? No, probably not. Probably not that.
Well,
probably not that.
Austin's dating that chick.
I don't know.
The goaltender.
Who?
Mikheya?
No, get the fuck out of here. He's not, is
he? Yeah, he is.
No, are you being serious? I don't know if you're joking or not.
That's the rumor going around that he's been spotted with her.
Then that kind of
that's why his head's not in the game.
That just told me everything I think I need to know right there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Fox of all foxes right there. Where'd you hear that?
I saw it online. Okay. I meant to send you the article.
Okay. That's pretty bananas if that's the case. But anyway, okay, whatever. Whatever. So
that throws you off your
yeah,
game.
you got me all flustered now. I didn't expect that. But
yeah, there it is.
okay. You gotta send me that. Text me that or whatever. Send me. I want to see that.
Social media erupts after rumored Austin Matthews is seen with rumored girlfriend Michaela Demeter.
Yeah. Are there pictures or no?
Someone had like a blurry photo that saw them. They tried to keep it private, but
okay.
There had been a rumor going a long time. Anyway,
you got to send me that. Text me that. I want to see that. Text me that. Anyway, whatever.
And if anybody listening doesn't know who that is, just Google Michaela Demeter goalie.
Yeah,
you'll see. You'll see why Dale gets so flustered.
Oh yeah, big time. Look. Anyway, moving ahead, Wednesday night, Game 5. In my opinion, these guys need to show up. It's about fucking time that these guys step up, man. Like it's time for these guys to step up. That's it. Like that's how I see it. It's time for these guys to step up. Mitch and Austin specifically, they need to have a fucking game. And if they don't, like we'll see. Maybe someone else.
They need to put points on the board.
They need to put points on the board. Maybe someone else steps up and the Leafs still find a way to win this. But I think Game 5, Chad, is so pivotal. This is the series. I think this is it.
Game 6 against Ottawa, Matthews got that first goal. And after coming off that Game 5 loss and how shitty their power play was, he gets the power play goal to get the ball rolling to put the Senators away. We need that again tomorrow night.
100%.
Or sorry, Wednesday.
I like that they have the extra day here, but
but we need that. We need Matthews to come out and set the tone. Matthews and Marner set the tone.
Totally agree. Will we see that? Don't know. Yeah, it should be very interesting. But look.
We saw it against Ottawa, but Florida just
it's a different beast. It's a different animal for sure. But are you on board with me here that this is a must-win game as must-win fucking gets? They have to have Game 5. They have to have it. If they drop 3 straight to the Panthers, going back to Sunrise, I mean,
they'll lose. They'll lose Game 6.
They probably will. Could the Leafs still pull it out and force Game 7? Yes, it's possible. But I'll tell you right now, I will be absolutely deflated if they drop this game on Wednesday night and go down 3-2 going back to Florida. I look at this, it's like the Leafs have to have this game. Then it gives you at least 2 more chances to try to fucking end it. Game 5, biggest game of the year by a fucking mile, because like I said off the top, I believe we can go out on this unless you got anything else here. I believe that the winner of this series will represent the Eastern Conference in the Stanley Cup final. That's how huge these next games are. Huge. Absolutely.
That's how huge Game 5 is.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge. Well, I'll just go out on this. Leafs have this group has only ever won 1 Game 5. For the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs.
Just drop that in there, right?
Well, they beat Boston once in a Game 5. Other than that, they are like 1-6 in Game 5s. For the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. You can, if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, leave a comment below, and ring the bell so you get notified every time we post a video. And until after Game 5, where hopefully Matthews Marner show up and they pull out a win. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
We will.
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Huge Game 5 Wednesday night back in Toronto. Man, biggest game of the year. Can't wait to see what happens. We'll be back Wednesday night after Game 5. Catch you later. Sorry, excuse me. Go, Leafs, go. Let's get it. This ain't over yet. Let's get this fucking going back in the right direction. Go, Leafs, go. We'll catch you later.
You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.